It wouldn't be another day in the gaming industry if there wasn't some mega rich CEO trying to convince everybody to not only buy their product, but also in the meantime, ask for less transparency. Today we're going to be talking about AI. It's a crutch of a conversation that has been happening pretty much all throughout the industry over the last year, especially ramping up extremely over the last month due to the rising cost of PC hardware because of AI and the bubble that is surrounding it. But this particular video is going to be about the conversation around AI because of Tim Sweeney, the CEO from Epic Games, who is trying to tell Steam that they should no longer be listing AI disclosures on their store. I find it amazing that the store that is supposedly trying to compete without actually competing against Steam is trying to tell Steam that less transparency is a good thing. I never really quite understood this. I don't understand why Tim Sweeney is trying to say this. Well, actually, wait. I do. There is a lot of controversies currently going on right now surrounding Fortnite and the usage of their AI. There's a lot of controversies right now surrounding AI usage in other AAA games, like Call of Duty Black Ops, for example. AI is an interesting conversation that has a multitude of different personalities that are taking part in it, and today we're going to break it all down for everybody to view. So enjoy this totally not AI-generated intro. So hit that like button, subscribe button, all that good YouTube algorithm stuff, and let's break down the conversation about AI in video games. So where did this all begin? This all started with Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney. Yes, Mr. Sweeney himself, the guy who said that he is not going to focus on adding any of the quality of life features or the social features that Steam has because, well, I guess he really doesn't want to compete with Steam at the end of the day. This particular CEO decided to make this statement over from Insider Gaming. It says the following: Epic Games CEO says that AI disclosure makes no sense for video game stores. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't believe this for a second. And I always advocate for more transparency from the gaming industry because, quite frankly, we just don't get enough. The gaming industry is allergic to transparency. They're like roaches trying to avoid the light. They don't like when things are transparent. And it's funny, you're going to try to get people that are going to say, well, AI isn't everything, so there's no reason why we should disclose it. That is a really weird argument. Do you look at the food labels and say we shouldn't be disclosing what's in this food because it's pretty much in everything now when it's mass-produced food? It's unbelievable. We should know what is in video games, and you should leave it up to the consumer to decide whether or not they want to participate in whatever it is that you're trying to sell them. AI is going to be no different. Sure, AI could be in every single video game, whether it's minor or whether it's major, and nobody is saying, or at least not me anyway, I'm not saying that the game can't exist, but what I am saying is that people should have the right to know what is in the video game. Flat out. Otherwise, why do you have other labels? You might as well remove all other labels in Steam. You might as well remove the fact that Metroidvania is a label because who cares? Everybody should know what's already in a genre like that. Why don't you remove Souls-like? Because who cares? Everybody should already know what's in a genre like that. No, the fact of the matter is AI being in a video game and being utilized by the majority of the gaming industry right now doesn't excuse the fact of having less transparency, in my opinion. Now, right now, there is a war going on within the gaming industry. You have the creative side of things that are trying to say that AI is complete slop and you should never use it ever, and that you should always hire people. Basically, the people who aren't in charge of the money are the ones that are trying to determine what to do with the money. And the ones that are in charge of the money are saying, no, we actually can utilize AI to do our jobs faster. We can utilize AI to replace people who are otherwise worse than AI. Like, there's a lot of things that AI can do that can provide us with avenues to make things happen quicker and try to maintain the same level of quality that we've been putting out, which, to be honest with you, with most AAA games is probably not that great anyway. And then outside of the gaming industry, you're going to have the different of opinions between the journalists who are trying to all attack AI right now because they know that their jobs are on the chopping block and that a lot of them have already been replaced with AI. We've seen examples of this already. And then the ones that do stay that aren't being replaced by AI, they're already utilizing AI to pretend to be other fake journalists to put out slop AI articles. That way they can convince everybody these websites are totally booming, even though they've been firing people left and right. Gaming journalism over the last couple of years has lost about 25% of journalists, and they have not returned to the gaming industry. They are being let go. They are being fired because they're essentially useless for the most part. If they're not being replaced by AI, they're being replaced by YouTubers. Now, I want to focus mainly on what Tim Sweeney had to say about this entire situation, because some of these responses that he had for this particular conversation is honestly mind-blowing. So the article says the following: the CEO of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney, recently responded to a comment on X, formerly Twitter, that said Steam and other digital marketplaces need to drop the Made with AI label. Sweeney said that he agrees with that comment, adding that the AI tag is relevant to art exhibits for authorship disclosure and to digital content licensing marketplaces where buyers need to understand the rights situation. He then added that the AI disclosure makes no sense for game stores, where AI will be involved in nearly all feature production. When another user spoke about customers deserving to know, Sweeney poked fun at those statements, stating, "Why stop at AI use? We could have mandatory disclosures for what shampoo brand the developer uses. Customers deserve to know." This guy, I gotta tell you, man, I feel like Tim Sweeney is proof that you could be a retard and still make it as a CEO for a company. Flat out. You just did the literal apples to oranges argument, and it's unbelievable that you actually think, number one, it's funny, and number two, it's a gotcha, number three, it made any sense whatsoever. You're an idiot. They're not utilizing shampoo to make the video game, so there's no reason to know what shampoo the developer used, you fucking moron. When you are utilizing AI to make the video game, then yeah, people have a right to know that you used AI to make the video game. And the fact that you're getting so upset over people knowing more information about the process of how you make your games and what you decide to utilize to make your games just shows exactly why we need product transparency in the first place. This is why. Because you are getting so upset, it proves to me that you have something to hide, essentially. Now, the funny thing is, this is coming from the CEO who is also in charge of Unreal Engine 5, the engine that everybody seems to hate because no developer knows how to properly use it for the most part. There's been, out of all the video games that have come out with Unreal Engine 5, 90+% of them have released completely broken or have this famous stutter issue or whatever the case may be. It's been an absolute shit show. It almost makes you wonder if there's AI to be blamed for that, whether it's AI coding or developers utilizing AI in some other manner built into Unreal Engine. Who really knows? Now, let's go back to the something to hide metric, because this is where I really want to focus on. So Tim Sweeney is trying to say that you should remove the AI label from the stores, that you should not have made with AI because it's pointless, because almost everything is made with AI. And he's right. Right now, there is a controversy going on right now with Fortnite players, and this is probably only going to affect a small handful of Fortnite players. But if you're looking at these screenshots that are being shared over at Reset Era right now, there are screenshots of absolute AI art imagery being used in Fortnite. You got this one that says Uvola, which is basically like a jewelry brand, but it's completely made with AI. The worst one out of all the pictures by far is this particular poster that says relax faster, mile high retreat, relax higher, and it seems to be a Yeti, but if you pay attention to his feet, one foot has 5 toes and one foot has 4 toes. Gee, I wonder why that is. Surely that is not a creative decision by an artist that you actually paid. No, it's obviously AI. They're utilizing AI to make this art, and they wonder, like, of course you wonder why they want to hide the AI made with AI label. Even here, look at this Back to the Future Marty McFly picture that they essentially made with AI. It's got the typical Studio Ghibli look. You think they drew this? Of course not. They made it with AI. So Tim Sweeney is saying this because he wants to get rid of the AI disclosure label from any particular video games that are listed on these stores so that people just don't know, right? Most people who don't watch these videos or aren't part of the conversation in any kind of, like, sense, whether it's mainstream gaming media with articles and journalists or whether it's watching YouTubers, if they're not part of the conversation, they're most likely not going to know, but it's only a matter of time before they see the obvious connection between all the art, because all this AI art looks very similar to one another. And again, for me, I want to make it very clear, I don't mind developers utilizing AI as a tool. I feel like AI should not be making the entire game. I feel like AI should be used as a tool from skilled developers that know how to use it properly and to make it easier for them to develop video games through their own personal creative process. But unfortunately, we are going to get to a point where as they continue to rely more and more on AI, it's only a matter of time before AI completely takes over almost all development, and these developers get so lazy or they get out of a job because the studios don't even feel like they have to hire developers, it's going to get there within a few years, 5 to 10 years probably, it's going to get there. Now again, I want to focus on the fact that Tim Sweeney is trying to tell Steam what to do. Meanwhile, Steam has almost double, if not triple, the amount of active users that Epic Games has, and they don't have to keep giving away free games in order to try to, convince people to utilize their platform. Epic Games, last we heard, around, I believe, like 2023, had an all-time high of 74 to 75 million active users over on Epic Games, whereas Steam, back in 2021, that was the last time we actually got any numbers from them officially. It was at 130 some odd million active users, and that was back in 2021. There are estimates out there of Steam having around 180 active million users right now, with the majority of it coming from China and English, where those two markets are exploding in terms of Steam usage over the last couple of years. So that could be a thing, but overall, we don't have an official number because Steam, since 2021, has not released any official number. Now, here's my major concern about AI and the overall conversation surrounding it outside of the actual gaming itself from a software perspective. I want to talk about AI's impact from a hardware perspective. Right now, we are seeing record-breaking price increases in terms of PC hardware, mostly RAM right now. It is unbelievable. I mean, some of the RAM that has been available for like $150 not even a year ago is now going up to $600-700. It's crazy. I'm personally happy that about a year ago I upgraded to 128 gigs of RAM. I'm glad I did it, back then versus trying to do it now, because it's unbelievable what the prices are going to right now. We have an article here from IGN, and it says, concern that skyrocketing RAM prices are driven by AI needs will cause problems for high-end gaming for several years. Now, this is my biggest issue, okay? Because high-end gaming has always been niche, all right? Not everybody has a crazy rig. Most gamers have about an average rig, right in the middle, not too low, not too high. I think that what's going to happen is this AI boom that we're seeing, until the bubble bursts, the amount of price increases that we're going to see for hardware is going to be astronomical, to the point where even Nvidia essentially admitted that they're not even making GPUs for gamers anymore. They essentially admitted that they're making GPUs for AI now at this point. It's unbelievable, man. Like, gamers, essentially, the hardware, they doesn't matter to them. Like, they're not even at the forefront of Nvidia's mind when it comes to making products anymore. And the RAM is just going to be the first, sign that things are clearly not going the way that most gamers would want. So even if you do want to eventually upgrade to a high-end computer rig, that is now going to cost you 2 to 3 times more than it ever did, which is going to make things like the Steam Machine even more attractive to people that want to get in on PC gaming but can't necessarily afford the rig because of, whatever, price increases, RAM increases, whatever. So it says there is an increasing concern that skyrocketing RAM prices will impact high-end gaming, not just in the short term, but the long term. With the explosive growth of generative AI data centers are hovering over on the world's memory and storage supply, sparking price hikes that some experts could fear could last for decades. Cheap SSDs and DRAM and HDDs are pretty much a thing of the past, with prices rising as AI demand outstrips the supply. This has already caused price rises, with PC retailer CyberPower PC announcing a hike for memory modules across the US and the UK due to market conditions. I love that they continue, doesn't matter what industry you're in, they always use the term market conditions, and they try to say, yeah, listen, we want to raise the prices, but we're looking for something to blame. So we're going to blame you guys participating in the market. That's what we're going to do, because the scalpers or the people who are buying this up no matter what the price, because they need to utilize AI for whatever their business is, yeah, we're just going to blame them, and we're going to just make out with crazy money right now. So thank you for all the money we're getting on RAM right now. It's unbelievable, it really is. Now again, guys, whether you agree or disagree with the removal of the AI label on Steam, for example, I've always said that Steam is one of the more, I guess you could say, consumer-friendly services that are out there right now. They definitely do everything they can to try to be as transparent as possible when it comes to what you're at least purchasing. I don't think they give the same, grace to their developers that are trying to upload their video games, as we have seen with a lot of the censorship lately. But overall, they are the better one out of pretty much all these other platforms. And I just find it insane that Tim is trying to make them be less transparent. Why would they be less transparent? Steam has gotten where they've gotten because they are more transparent. Steam is one of the only services that are still providing player concurrent numbers on video games to see how well they are performing and ranking them without actually hiding the information or trying to hide it and sell it to you down the line. They're the only ones still openly giving it. So transparency is important. It is very key for customer trust and customer branding. And I really feel like trying to remove that is going to cause a precedent that Tim Sweeney would love to take advantage of. Either that, or maybe he's trying to mess up Steam from within. I really don't know at the end of the day. But keep in mind, guys, it's not just Epic Games that is under fire right now for the AI usage. You know, we covered the other day, but I'll just bring it up here again to remind people. But Black Ops 7 is currently getting attacked right now because of their obvious AI usage in their calling cards. If you guys missed that, I'll put it up on screen for you to see again. But the calling cards are essentially all Studio Ghibli calling cards, so very obviously made with AI. And these companies are trying to experiment with what people are going to be okay with swallowing. That's really what it is. They're trying to test you, the player, to see what you're willing to accept when it comes to AI art. And right now, they're starting with the small things, a couple of DLCs here and there, a couple of calling cards here and there. They're starting with the small things, and if you accept it, they will fire the people that used to make them, and they will get rid of them and then replace them with AI, and then they'll try to push even more until eventually it gets to the point where AI has completely taken over and is developing the game on its own. And at this point, they have already conditioned most gamers, sadly, and I hate to say this, most gamers are conditioned to accept the fact that a lot of these video games are being released broken day one. It's a sad truth, right? Some people don't, right? And me personally, I really hate it to the point where I don't even buy Bethesda games day one anymore. I haven't for many years because of their just lack of trust, right? I don't have trust in Bethesda. They have completely messed it up. They've released their games so broken, they take forever to fix them. I'm good. I'll just wait till it's $7. $5, I'm good. It's going to get there eventually at some point anyway. So Microsoft, is doing the same thing with Black Ops 7 with the calling cards. If you accept the calling cards, then eventually you're going to accept the gun skins. And then after you accept the gun skins, eventually you're going to accept the operator skins. And after you accept the operator skins, you get where I'm going with it. It's only a matter of time. This has sparked so much controversy that it even received the attention of U.S. Congressman Ro Khanna, which is hilarious, by the way. He stated that we need regulations that prevent companies from utilizing AI to eliminate jobs to extract greater profits. Now, me personally, I don't agree with this, right? And the reason why I don't agree with this is because almost nothing was ever done on a permanent level to stop automation throughout history. Automation has cost so many people their jobs in history. People, like, look at McDonald's. They wanted $15 an hour to be a cashier, and they ended up getting that by getting fired and replaced by a kiosk. It's the same thing here, man. Bad developers are going to be replaced. Even some good developers, sadly, are going to be replaced, but the bad ones are going to be replaced first. They're no longer going to be needed, and they're going to be replaced by AI, where the good developers will utilize the tool to do their job better and to help speed up the process. Now, after that is all done, then we're going to see what's really going to happen. Are we going to see these studios double down and fire the good developers to replace them with AI too? To be honest with you, that's probably going to happen. So ultimately, guys, this whole conversation around AI, I find it to be very interesting. We have seen a lot of examples in multiple different video games of AI usage, and this is not going to stop. We're going to keep seeing more and more and more. Those Fortnite pictures that we looked at was extra egregious, especially the really ugly Yeti with the 4 toes on one foot and the 5 toes on another foot. It was pretty damn hilarious, but we're going to keep seeing more examples of that. Even Call of Duty with the Christmas zombie, he had 6 fingers instead of 5. It was so obvious they were doing it even back then that they're going to continue doing it now, if not worse. So you guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this entire conversation around AI? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to see no AI? Are you okay with some AI being utilized as long as it's by a good developer who can help his process? Or do you want to see all these developers replaced by AI? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, do all the YouTube algorithm stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.